DreAllDay.com.
Welcome back to the Anna and Dre. I don't even know what we're going to call this. The experience for now. I am Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day.
And I'm Anna Dolce.
Also known as
Anna Dolce.
All right, so we were having this conversation already, but we decided we were going to do a separate talk on this. What Anna said, what you said was you find yourself giving energy more often to men of color.
Yes, you assume that I get more attention from men of color rather than white men. And I said that is not true. I think the difference is who I give the attention to. So I find myself giving more attention to non-white males rather than the white males.
All right, so my assumptive question was that you get of men who approach you, 10 men approach you on the street. I was thinking that more often as a black guy than a non-black guy. So when we say black and white, we're saying a black dude with brown skin tone. Brown versus pale. What do we call what we call somebody who's not brown? What's the white?
White.
We'll just say black versus white, so y'all understand. This encompasses all. This is about the color of your skin, not where you're actually from or race or anything. But you're saying it's pretty much equal.
Maybe black men would make a move, or make a move more often than white men. But I feel the attention from white men equally.
What does make a move?
Sense?
What's the difference between making a move and
making a move?
attention?
Meaning vocalize or verbalize their interests. Black guys would do that more often than white guys. But white guys would also, I know when they're interested, they don't have to say anything, or they don't have to necessarily make a dramatic move or a vocal move. But I think that I get attention from both as a white female, rather than you thinking that it's just black men.
All right, so tell people where you're from again. We got to establish this every video.
I'm from Georgia. It's a country in Europe. It's not. We're not talking about Georgia, the state in the U.S.
What city in Georgia?
Tbilisi, Georgia, which is the capital of Georgia.
How many people in Georgia?
Total population is like 3.5 million.
Okay.
In Georgia.
And that's where you're from?
Size of South Carolina.
All right. How long have you been in the United States?
I've been in the United States for 20 years now.
Okay. So you said you give more energy to a guy of color than a guy not of color.
Yeah, I notice them more, and I'm more prone to speaking back to them or responding to them rather than the white men.
What do you mean you notice them more? Like you don't notice the white guy standing right there, but you notice the black guy?
No, if it's like an average looking white guy, making a pass or paying attention to me, I see through them. I don't even look at them.
And what about an average looking black guy?
I'll probably notice them more than a white man, yeah.
So why? Why is this?
They're black.
There you have it.
I don't know. They're more noticeable. They're more noticeable. They say things or they stand out rather than blending in. I just feel that white men just blend in. So
what if a guy who's like, so in your country where you come from, is it normal for people from that country to usually mate with someone who's also from there?
No, it's not normal. It's actually not only not normal, it would probably be used to be like forbidden. There was no rules, but there were kind of immoral to think about mating or being with someone that was non-Georgian.
No, I mean somebody who is. So my question, is it normal to be with somebody who is from Georgia?
Yes, it is normal.
So that's like what most people do.
Exactly, that's what most people do.
And most people would severely frown upon stepping outside of your
outside
of your country or outside of your race?
Outside of your country and outside of your race even more. Like that's even more dramatic there. If there is a story of someone dating someone outside of the race, that story never gets forgotten. So
if you had dated a white Italian guy, people still would have gave you dirty looks.
They would have still kind of frowned upon, oh, you're not procreating Georgians, but they would not be as opposed to it because at least it was the same race and
or the same color.
Yeah, same color of the skin and kind of similar, if you will, culturally similar. Cultural similarities between Italy and Georgia are vast, so it would not be as frowned upon.
But if he's a different color,
But if it's a different color,
like an African or a black French guy,
yeah, that would
People-
be off
won't like
limits.
that?
They would not like that.
are there black Jordans?
No, there are no black Jordans.
No. All right. So you said, I got off the topic just asking that question, but you said you give more energy to the black guys because they just stand out more to you in your mind. They have, what is it about them? What's it about a black guy?
You know when Tony Robbins says in his seminar, like, hey, look around the room and find the color blue, and everyone looks around and everybody finds the color blue, and then next exercise is, okay, now, you know, what was the exercise? Now find color brown.
Tell me
or
all the
something.
things you saw that were red.
Yeah, then tell me all the things that weren't blue, but you thought they were blue. You made it blue just because that's where your attention is, right? That's where you're paying attention to. So that's what you notice. So I think it's the same thing with me. You know, whatever your interest is, you notice it a lot more than what you're not interested in.
So is the a thing he calls the reticular activating
Yeah,
system.
it's the RAS system in your brain
Alright,
that notices.
So whatever you're paying attention to, that's what you notice.
Yep.
So why are you paying attention to black guys? You ain't black. Why? What are you doing?
What's your real question?
That's the question. Why would you be looking for or paying attention to the color blue if you're not the color blue yourself? What is it about black guys, and
For me,
when did this happen?
It happened for me. It happened like when I was in kindergarten. I think.
Kindergarten.
Yeah.
But I thought you said there wasn't no black dudes.
No, there was no black dudes or no black kids. But I was in camp one year, and my mom
okay.
was. It was like a children's camp, whatever, like a summer camp for kids, for
In
like
Georgia?
little kids in Georgia.
Okay.
And my mom was a leader of the camp or whatever. She was, you know, there as a teacher or a leader. And I was there, and I had a crush on a darkest kid in the whole camp, and he was Georgian. He was just like dark skinned. He looked like a gypsy.
Like,
No, he wasn't
like
this
my
dark.
complexion?
No, he wasn't that dark, but he was like a dark skinned white person, like
Okay.
olive skin, like dark olive skin
But
complexion.
you could tell the difference between your
you can
complexion
tell the
and his.
difference. And he was smaller than me, and I was actually attracted to him. I don't know why. And my little cousin used to make fun of me. She was like, "Why do you like that guy? There are all these guys that are cuter than him, but you like this dark little boy." So I think that's where it started, probably.
In kindergarten.
And I was like before first grade, whatever that is. Preschool.
So when was the first time you actually dated a black guy or a brown skinned guy ever in your life?
I think that was in Brooklyn, New York, when I moved to Brooklyn.
So that was like 20 years later.
It was like, yep.
So for 20 years you had this unconscious, not even unconscious, but you were burying this within you. You had this, I can't
I
think
think
of
it
the
was.
word.
I don't think I was burying it. I think it was unconscious.
So you were just waiting.
I just didn't know what I knew. Yeah.
So you were just waiting for your opportunity to.
It wasn't even like that. I wasn't waiting for an opportunity. There was no opportunity. So it's not like I was.
And you didn't know you would get it.
Looking for it or needing it or anything like that. I didn't know what I liked. I didn't know that I liked that, actually.
So when you finally
So when I
had.
saw it, when I first had an encounter with someone of a different race, then I started realizing, like, yeah, this is what I actually like.
All right, so are black guys' penis is bigger than white guys?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know.
Okay. Moving on. So you say one of the things you said is that men of color, black guys,
Yes.
they have a certain energy. What is it about black guys, now that you can consciously think about it,
Yeah.
that you notice them more than you notice a white guy, especially in a place like New York? I mean, it's very diverse, but a place like Miami, at least the part of Miami we live in, is not as many black guys walking around. So maybe it's easier to spot them, but it's so many non-black people walking around. Like, what is it? You've been in a lot of places in your life. Why do you notice the black guy, or why you consciously notice him more now?
I think I'm attracted to them more. That's why I notice them. But the question is, why am I attracted to them, right?
What about them? Yeah.
What about them?
Yeah.
Well, there's a physical aspect and there's a mental aspect to it too. I guess physically you can say you like what you like. But to me, you have to be athletic. And a lot of times I find that a lot of white guys are not as athletic. Or is that me?
I think that might just be you.
Is it me?
They're athletes. They're white athletes.
I don't see them.
They
Where
don't
are
play
they?
they might not play the same sports. Like I played basketball, so a lot of black people play basketball, but white dudes play ball.
Maybe that's what it is. Like, I don't like short men, right?
So like soccer, baseball,
Yeah, like if you
don't have to be tall.
right.
Basketball,
And
you got to be tall.
I wouldn't be attracted to them. So I think I have a
Okay.
type. Like, you definitely have to be tall. I don't find that many tall white people that are ripped, like, unless you're an athlete.
How tall are you?
5'7".
All right, and I'm
You're 6'4".
yeah. So about
you're
my
kinda
height or
tall.
taller or more?
Yeah, your height or taller.
6'4" or taller.
6'4" or taller.
So you're limiting yourself to a very select
Yeah.
segment of the population.
Yes, and I like that.
The average man is like 5'9".
Exactly, and I don't want to be with an average man. I've never wanted to.
But what if a man is exceptional in every other way? He's just short,
I've
or he's
never-
average height, 5'10".
I've never met that man.
Like Allen Iverson, he's 5'10".
I've never met a man that I was attracted to that was 5'10", and he was exceptional in every other way. I never have, white or black.
Okay, so I cut you off when you were talking about the physical. You were saying
Yeah, so
recommend
there's
is
a physical aspect
tall.
to it. So I think I have a type, and then
Okay.
now we know what it is.
What's the type? Tell more. All right,
Tall.
you said tall,
Yeah, tall, athletic,
like muscular, has some muscles.
yes, and
Yeah.
not too pale skin. I don't like the pale skin, even on white people.
Okay, so even if
Just
he was
cringe.
white, he needs some melanin.
Yeah, you need some
Yeah.
melanin, some flavor, I guess, right?
Yeah, some flavor in
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Okay. What else physically? Anything else physically?
No, everything else is in details. Really, it's about a person.
Okay, so let's talk the mental side. Is there a mental difference between, as you've seen, between black guys and white guys?
For me, I don't know. What I've seen is there's a cultural difference.
No, let's talk about it.
And then the cultural difference is more attractive to me than some bland, middle of America kind of mentality. So I don't know. I've dated people who are from different countries, and so we connect more because there are similarities in my culture and their culture, or there are vast differences. So we kind of, we have things to talk about, right? There's variety that we can discuss.
So when you met me, what were our similarities or vast differences culturally? Once you got to know a little
Well,
bit about
you're
me?
an American and I'm not an American,
Yeah.
right? So I come from a different culture, so we had stuff to talk about. We had differences. And then you're black and I'm white, so there's definitely difference there.
Yeah.
And what other differences do we have?
What other differences?
We have a lot in common as far as we like personal development, but then how we went about it, I think,
We're both
was
Aquarius. We're both Aquarians.
different. Yes.
Yeah, February. Shout out to February birthdays.
You are more, what do you call the urchins? The things that people that need.
Analytical.
You're more analytical.
Yeah.
And I am analytical too, actually, but not to that extent.
Yeah, not to my extent.
No, but I'm also not like this free-flowing, crazy artist type. I'm not that type either. I think I'm somewhere
You're
in
not the
between.
woo-woo.
Yeah, I'm not very woo-woo. I'm not very.
You're in between.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
I am in between, and I have variety of things that I can talk about or take interest in. So, but the mental side, I think, is not. Mental differences that I'm attracted to, I think, come from cultural differences. People think differently when they're from different places.
Okay, so the black guy who's from, let's say a black guy from a city. I'm from Philadelphia, so let's say a black guy, New York, Boston, LA, Phoenix, Miami. We're from cities, and there's some similarities of a black guy that's from a city. It doesn't even matter which one.
Yeah.
Versus a white guy. What about a white guy who's from a city? Like a white guy from Philly or a white guy from Brooklyn. Are there white guys in Brooklyn?
Yeah, I don't know. I
From
find
Brooklyn.
them uninteresting. I find them very I've never met like a white guy that is worldly. Either they, or at least in America, they are either beer drinking, sandal wearing, khaki short wearing, football watching, loud, crass, or I've never met a cultured, in shape, worldly white guy that's exceptional looking. That would be my type that I would go for if he was white.
You about to get a lot of hate comments.
That's okay by me. I already get
your
hate
last
comments.
15 seconds of statements.
I'm good with hate. Bring the hate.
All right, so so why is that? Why do you think you can meet a black guy? Because look, a black dude could be from his hood, never have left his hood. Well, you probably wouldn't meet him if he hadn't left his hood.
Yeah. But I've met people who grew up in the hood and they left their hood, and to me they're more interesting than a guy that, you know, a white guy that grows up in the city or in the suburbs and that's it.
So hold on. So
that's more interesting to me.
So a black dude who's from the hood, let's say he just moved out of his hood, and you meet him wherever you meet him, and then a white guy who's from his hood, never left his hood until he moves out, and you meet him where you meet him. They both got the same amount of time in the hood and out the hood, but the black guy's more interesting.
Black guy's more interesting to
Why?
me. I don't know. There's maybe because I can relate, because where I come from, you know, I come from a kind of a challenged childhood, if you will, and I have more things to discuss. And to me, it's admirable that you grew up in the hood and then you left the hood, and there's something interesting to talk about, rather than, oh, I just grew up in the suburbs and I'm this white boy and I had everything I needed and I went to college and I like football and whatnot.
So what about the white dude who grew up like in the trailer park and he was fucked up too, and he made it out? Does that matter?
I don't know. I've never met somebody like that in person.
Me neither.
Yeah, I've never met anybody that's from trailer park.
Eminem came from a trailer park.
Yeah,
at least according to the movie.
Yeah, I'm not attracted to Eminem. I would not date him or go out with him.
You wouldn't go on a date with
No.
Eminem? Okay, so why?
He's too short.
How tall is he?
He's like 5'8".
Eminem is like 5'8"?
He's like tiny.
I didn't know that.
As far as I know, he's tiny.
I didn't know how tall he was. All right, so but the black guy who came from the hood and moved out,
Yeah.
you consider that just more interesting of a story?
Yeah, I dated somebody like that, and I think the first guy that I dated was like that, and we had things to talk about. He was interesting.
He had made his way out of an adverse background to start creating success.
Yeah.
Okay, and because you did the same thing, you relate to that.
Yeah, definitely.
So are you saying that you believe white people kind of have a head start in life just by the fact of being white?
Absolutely.
At least in America.
Absolutely, there is such thing, and even not in America. I have a head start because I'm white. Yeah, because when I go to the neighborhood when I go out in the world, I'm automatically giving so much more benefit of the doubt, like
that's true,
than a black man would, or a black person, black girl would.
Yeah, so
yeah, there's definitely white privilege.
If we go somewhere and there's a dispute to be handled, we look at the person in charge. Right? They white, Anna, you go talk to them. If we want to be nice. It's
not that black and white though.
Sometimes it depends. If
you handle all disputes, you're better at it.
I'm better.
You're actually not better at it. I think you go at it.
I'm more direct.
I'm more political and you're more direct.
I'm more direct, and I don't know. I think sometimes people are just like intimidated by a tall black dude, even though I'm not trying to do nothing.
Right.
Just by my presence.
Right.
People, like white people, will be intimidated just because they only know black people from what they see on TV.
Yeah, so they'll back down.
Or YouTube. Yeah, so then they get defensive, and you didn't even do anything.
Right.
But if you or if we deal with a man who's like more masculine, then you definitely send a woman, because a man who's attracted to women will pretty much do anything if a woman
his guard will
at him.
go down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So
we gauge.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why gay couples are at a disadvantage, because y'all can't send somebody different. So,
I don't know about that. There's polarities in gay couples, so.
But they both male or both female.
Not all the time.
If they're gay, they both male or they're both female.
No, some are transgender and lesbians together. You never know.
Excuse me.
There are levels to that stuff. You don't know this.
You're right. There are levels to that. All right. So.
But we get your point.
All right. What else is there? Is there anything else about what would make? So let's say there's a white guy watching this who's kind of annoyed right now because he's more than annoyed. He already left the comment, but he's just watching to see what else we're gonna say. He wants to meet women who look like you, or someone who fits your profile. Maybe not looks like you, but fits your profile. And you just said what you said about white guys kind of start on first base. You didn't have to go through nothing. You didn't have to make it through anything adverse. You kind of like had it all. You had your plate set for you before you even got to the table. But he wants to meet an attractive woman who's been through some things in life. What can he do? Does he have hope, or should he just go find himself another white girl coming out of the cornfields and just settle down?
I mean, if you have interest to meet someone interesting, you have to become interesting.
So how can I become interesting if my family had money, or we were good enough, and I knew my college was paid for by the time I was 2 years old, and I didn't have to go through any adverse circumstances, but I want to meet a woman
how that
who's
comedian
interesting.
says, I've heard everything you had to say. Why don't you go out and have some shit happen to you so we have something new to talk about? Like,
I never heard that.
Go. I think it's Chris Rock. The woman comes home and he's tired of her talking about the same shit, and he's like, I've heard everything you had to say, and why don't you just go out and like have some new shit happen to you so we have something to talk about, right? Yeah. Same thing, like go out and explore the world and become interesting. Doing the same thing over and over again is not going to help you. I don't know, how do you meet interesting women? Maybe you should answer that. How
do you meet interesting women? I think it's just a strength of character, personality, your energy. I can't really answer that because I didn't go out saying I need to meet an interesting woman. Like, I knew what type of person I was. So when I present myself, that's just the type of women that I ended up talking to. Like, the women that I met between, but before we met, the women that I was meeting, they all had something interesting about them. They had some kind of background, or they were from someplace, or they had done different things. I could ask them question after question after question and learn so much just from their experiences. I think those energies just attract. I think you attract who you are. I mean, it's pretty much what every relationship.
You don't attract what you want, you attract who you are.
Yeah, so if you're boring, then you're going to meet some boring ass people.
Yeah.
They might be pretty though, so that might be a consolation.
Depends on where your values lie, what you want, what do you value most.
Yeah, so all right, what about the black guys out there who, let's say it is a tall black guy, because these are things they can't really control. You're tall, you came from the hood, you got big muscles, you're athletic. Is that it? Do they got a chance with you? I mean, they ain't got a chance with you.
No, there's got to be a mental side. It's not just the looks.
So where does the mental side come from? What do they need to do?
They have to be confident. They have to have been through something in their lives, and they have to be striving for something. It doesn't mean that they have arrived. You don't have to have arrived, but you have to be going after something that's worthwhile going after for you. Not just like on the treadmill grinding and struggling. I don't like to be with people who are struggling, meaning like, oh my God, I have this hard job and I keep working hard, and I hate my job, but I keep working hard. Like, I don't respect that, because I feel that if you hate your job, you can make changes.
It's like a dead end.
It's like, why are you miserable? I don't want to be with a miserable person. But if you're going after something that lights you up and you're working on it, then that's attractive to me. So the confidence and the goal-oriented and successful, in the sense that successful means that you're doing something to achieve what you want, what you actually want, right? That's success. Success is not like, oh, I've arrived, because when you arrive, you have a next thing that you want to pursue. So what are you pursuing? Right, so that's what's attractive. The guy that I dated, he grew up in the hood. He was living in Brooklyn. He was rough, he was kind of rough around the edges, but good looking guy. He wasn't, he was tall.
How tall was
he was like 6'5", 6'4".
Does he play basketball?
I don't know, actually. I don't think so.
He was in shape though.
He was in shape, and he was kind of eccentric, but he was interesting. Like, I found that interesting. It's not like he had this amazing job or he was doing some extraordinary things, but he was an interesting person. So I went on a date with him. So you have a chance if you're interesting, I guess.
All right, so for any black guys watching this and they're like, I want to meet a girl like you, who are your friends that you could connect them with?
No one. I would not do that.
Why not?
No, why would I do that?
To be a matchmaker. You'd be like the connector.
I'm not a matchmaker. You should be your own matchmaker.
Oh, well, I think we should leave it on right there on that note. You be your own matchmaker. My name is Dre Baldwin.
My name is Anna.
Where do we find you on social media? They know where to
Find me
you.
on Instagram, Anna_Dolce, and AnnaDolce.com.
All right, that's that. And Anna's gonna tell y'all one last thing.
Working game.
That's that. Yeah, work on your game. You get some game, then you get yourself a girl. That's it.